by Buster Douglas and his manager, John Johnson. Right now, let's go to Columbia, Missouri, and join Don Criqui and Al McGuire.
Thank you, Bob. Hearn Center at the University of Missouri, ready for a Big 8 shootout. Two of America's best teams, two of the highest scoring, ready to tee it up. At the University of Missouri, where Tiger fans are confident that they have the next national championship team in college basketball. Missouri poised to go to the top of the rankings after upsetting #1 Kansas at Kansas on Tuesday night. But today, Oklahoma comes in averaging over 108 points a game. I'm joined by Coach Al McGuire. Al, the last time Oklahoma came in, as you know, they were #1 and were beaten by Missouri. What do the Sooners have to do today to win?
Very tough to win here at Mizzou. One of the things they got to do, they got to turn over the Tigers in their full court pressure. The other thing, they got to get the Tigers into foul trouble. If they have a problem at Missouri, their bench is shallow. And the third thing Oklahoma has to do, they must hit 50% from the field. And they've only done that 5 times this year.
Missouri has two of the great individual players in America, two bona fide All-America candidates in 6'10" Doug Smith and backcourt star Anthony Peeler. They're great players.
Doug Smith can do anything, anytime, and he's not going pro. He told me he's going to stay through his senior year, but he has to be more consistent. He has to come to play every game. And the other guy, nicknamed AP, Anthony Peeler, he has unlimited potential. He's added now an outside shot. He already hit 18 from three-point land.
The Sooners come in averaging over 108 points a game. Missouri's almost at 100. We'll have the starting lineups in a moment.
It's Tuesday afternoon in Ford County.
Darnest thing about life here in Ford County. You'd think with a name like Ford County, people would prefer Ford trucks. Au contraire, people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks.
Always said we were on the cutting edge.
Isn't that the darndest thing?
Could it be we're the bellwether of major societal shifts?
It's mind-boggling. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
Because you like Sundays to be all downhill.
It's the right beer now.
If you're the type who will go to the mat for a good time.
It's the right beer now.
Because out here, not everything hibernates for the winter. So reach for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Coors Light. Yeah, it's the right beer now.
Ever since my brother Tom got this Magnavox 52-inch big screen TV, the show's gonna start. Come on. He stopped going to the movies. The picture is huge, sharp, and brighter than any ordinary TV. And I get great seats. Plus, Magnavox has a 100-watt JBL sound system. It's the same Dolby surround sound you hear at the movies. Yeah, and I don't have to stand in line in the rain anymore. Tom, it doesn't always rain when you go to the movies. Not anymore.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
Mom, we need more Wheaties.
Right now, get Michael Jordan posters free on boxes of Wheaties. Collect all 3 and turn them into one jumbo Jordan poster. But you better hurry, because they're going fast. Better get your posters. Better eat your Wheaties.
Steven Seagal is a hero's hero, says USA Today.
You better dial 911.
Hard to Kill. Rated R. Now playing.
College basketball is brought to you by today's truck, Chevrolet. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. By Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By U.S. Navy, you and the Navy, full speed ahead. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and ready here in the Show Me State. Their Tigers are ready to show Oklahoma if they can. Jackie Jones starts at 1-4. He might be Oklahoma's best player right now. Damon Slim Patterson is the other. A couple of juniors from the Detroit area. William Davis starts at center. A banger inside, does not shoot from far out, but gets the rebound. Smokey McCovery will run the point. Skeeter Henry at 18 a game is the #1 scorer for the Oklahoma Sooners. And there's Coach Billy Tubbs, now his 10th season as coach of the Sooners, going for back-to-back 30-win seasons. Nobody's done that since Kentucky in 48 and 49. Up front for the Missouri Tigers are Nathan Bunton and John McIntyre. McIntyre really a swingman. The center, Doug Smith, one of the standout players in America. 6'10", does it all, a junior from Detroit. In the back line, Lee Coward, a gritty senior guard, and Anthony Peeler, absolutely extraordinary talent. Norm Stewart, back in good health in his 23rd season as coach of the Tigers, a team that was #1 for 3 weeks in a row and is looking to go to #1 again. Oklahoma, as you see, leads the series, but the home team has won the last 10 times these two teams have played. Oklahoma gets the tap, and Smokey McCovery starts the Sooners out on offense. Loop lead goes down low to Davis, up against Smith. And here comes Coward, leading the Missouri fast break. Oklahoma, very quick defensive team. They steal the ball a lot. Peeler inside, doesn't go. But somehow Peeler comes up with the ball inside court and gets it back to Coward, and they set it down. Intense crowd noise in the Hearn Center.
Both teams have started out man-to-man.
And a foul call against Damon Patterson of Oklahoma stops play in the early going.
Patterson caught a good piece of him. That'll be a 2-shot foul.
Missouri comes in with a 23-2 record, losing to Illinois and to Kansas State. They're 9-1 are the Tigers in the Big 8. Doug Smith averaging over 18 points a game. The 6'10 junior. And Missouri takes a 2-0 lead. Oklahoma feels it's imperative not to fall behind early. That's been a problem in the past. The Sooners have not shot well in this building the last 5 times they've been here. They've been down around 40% on the average. You think that's the building, Al?
I think it's the conference. I personally think that the Big 8 this year is the conference in the country, especially because of Oklahoma State and Kansas State. I look for 5 of them to go to the NCAA. But the home court in the Big 8 is a tremendous advantage.
The Oklahoma players say the sight lines are a little different. An unusual building. Holds over 13,000. Rebound goes to McIntyre, and the Missouri Tigers come up a running. McIntyre, a 6'5 player with a great outside shot. Tries to go low. Does. Nathan Bunton kicks it back out.
2 strong baseline men with Bunting and Smith like twin towers.
Bowen can't get it to work, and Skeeter Henry, a 6'7 guard, sweeps the rebound. Lead from McCovery. And driving hard is Jackie Jones. Doesn't go. Smith with the rebound, and again Coward leads the break. 3-on-3. Bunton tries to go inside, taken away by McCovery. There's an open man on a breakaway. This is Skeeter Henry, and he slams down the Sooners' first 2 points of the day, and we're tied up.
Here comes their pressure after a made basket. They'll double team. Jones was over to double team, but AP just breaks it automatically.
McCovery called for a reach-in foul as he stripped the ball from Anthony Peeler.
He's not smoking yet, but he'll get going. McCovery's a good ball player. But when you're trying to cover AP, you got a difficult job.
I asked Smokey Al before the game how he got his nickname. He said he'll tell me when he has more time. It's a long story.
I think when he gets on the streak, he just keeps it going, and they call it smoking.
Peeler hit. Shot, bank shot. And the Tigers lead the Sooners 4-2.
That's why he's an All-American. When you can score after you kill your dribbling on the way down.
Sooners having trouble finding the range, and Missouri kicking it out off the break. Howard takes it down low. Left all alone, lays it in. a 6-2 Missouri lead. Oklahoma, an 18-3 team, looking for its 4th consecutive win. Billy Tubbs says we're a mystery team. I just don't know what's going to show up on game day. Davis can't get it to go. Rebound taken down by Slim Patterson. And McIntyre, in grabbing the ball, stepped down the baseline of the court.
That was a big rebound by Patterson that time.
(17-18) to play. Oklahoma shooting just 1 of 6 so far from the field. Missouri's hit 2 of 4. McIntyre got McCovery. See if it's a shooting foul. It is.
Johnny Mack has too much hands on him cutting across.
For more on the game, let's go to the sideline reporter, Ed Randall. Ed?
Thanks, Don. The Hearn Center is a very tough building to shoot in. The seats are a bad shade of green. A lot of people wear yellow. They do not paint the rims. If you don't practice here a lot and you don't play here a lot, it is a very difficult place to shoot well in, and that may be Missouri's biggest advantage of all.
Okay, Ed, that free throw, the first of the game for Oklahoma, was the 16th in a row for Smokey McCovery. 17 in a row, and he brings the Sooners back to it in 2 as Oklahoma gives full court pressure to the offensive team. Unit coming down court, and Coward kicks it low.
You know, Don, it's surprising on the full court pressure. You'd think they'd give the ball to Coward, but they're giving the ball to Anthony Peeler, and he's neutralizing Oklahoma's pressure all by himself. Let's take a look at it. No, that's a feed down low.
And at the line is Doug Smith from Mackenzie High School in Detroit. Terry Evans comes back in, a very smart point guard. He was the starter at the outset of the season, so they're using a lot more quickness now, Al, in the backcourt with really 2 points playing, McCovery and Terry Evans in. Terry's dad was a terrific player for the Sooners. All Big 8 player twice.
Terry Evans was redshirted last year. The reason he said he's so good this year, he played every day against Mookie Blaylock.
Davis down low as they double down on the ball. Nicely done by Jackie Jones. And here is a foul call. It's going to go against Oklahoma. Smith so far with 3 rebounds to lead Missouri. Davis moving quickly to tip away the baseline pass.
Like all big games, it's sloppy at the beginning. And this is a big game.
Huge in the Big 8. Sooners come in ranked number 10 in the coaches poll, 11 in the other. Missouri number 2 in America in both polls, but poised to go to number 1 if they win today after beating number 1 Kansas. Peeler can't get it to go, and again the guard, the big guard, Skeeter Henry, rebounds. And low, McCovery pulls up, and again, Oklahoma can't hit it. The Sooners on a cold shooting streak to open the game. The development that they feared would happen because it's happened before here.
Evans reached in that time, created the foul. That's the 4th on Oklahoma.
Coach Tubbs working the official early.
Billy, he might be a Big East official. Be careful.
That's right. Billy Tubbs' remarks about the Big East Conference recently. We'll get into more of those as McIntyre hits the 3. The trigger man from Motown, hitting from the outside. Now Skeeter Henry heads into the lane. It's a 9-4 game. Oklahoma trailing by 5, and again it's in and out as the Sooners can't get it to go. They're 1 for 8 from the field as Howard goes the other end. Basket goes, and there's a foul call on the play. Evans was blocking.
Basket good, and they call blocking. So possible 3-point play. Watch, he commits himself to the air a little bit too soon. The defensive man was not set. Excellent call. Let's take it from another angle, a low angle. There he goes. He's not set. Keeps his eye up in the rim. Now let's see if he can finish it off. Senior Howard.
So at 15:57 to go in the first half, the home crowd, Missouri, has opened up a 12-4 lead.
Why don't you love me like you used to do? Commitment. What does she call the last 11 months? My hair still curly and my eyes still blue. That's what she wants. Hey, if she can go her way, we'll go our way. You know what I mean?
One day it could all come down to a few inches. For those few inches, it's good to know you have Goodyear tires.
You think someone's trying to tell us something up there?
That's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
She gets another shot.
Heard from an old student. Remember Brian McKenna? Smart kid.
Good ball player. Great hands.
Where's he going to college? He's not.
Oh, too bad.
Studying aviation electronics.
But you said...
In the Navy. Then college.
The Navy College Fund. $25,000 for your college education. Today's high-tech Navy.
You and the Navy.
Like I said, smart kid.
When David and Lisa Edmondson needed life insurance, they came to see me. I'm Kent Spearman, their State Farm agent. I help the Edmondsons put together a life insurance plan that works for them and their budget. And I stay in touch as their needs grow and change because that plan has to work for their children, Rachel and Travis, too. If you want life insurance that works for you, get an agent who works for you. Get yourself a State Farm agent.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Michael Carbajal, America's Olympic hero, bills himself as a mini Duran. Nicknamed Little Hands of Stone, his left-right combination packs the power to put people on the canvas. Now he takes his first step toward a world title. Michael Carbajal battles Tony DeLuca live on NBC Sports World.
On Tuesday night, numbers 1 and 2 in America met at Lawrence, Kansas in goal. The Missouri Tigers upset number 1 Kansas. The final moments. The ball comes down. Missouri's power ticks it up. The clock runs out, and Norm Stewart says good game to his counterpart from Kansas, Roy Williams. But right now, Kansas will drop in the ratings if Missouri wins today. Georgetown lost to Providence. Syracuse will drop markedly after consecutive losses. And Missouri, which held the number 1 ranking in America for 3 straight weeks, is ready to go to the top again.
You know what I think, Don? Even if Missouri loses today, I still think they'll be number 1 because they beat Kansas twice, even though they have 1 more loss.
Yeah, they beat them here and there. It will be the 13th time if Missouri goes to number 1 on Monday. 13th time the number 1 position has changed this season in the rankings.
Nice move that time by Skeeter Henry. Kind of puts his body in 5 places at the same time. You got to catch part of it.
Skeeter Henry, part of the Midland Junior College connection at Oklahoma. McCovery's also from there. Played for the Midland Chaparrals. Henry averaging 18 points a game from Grand Prairie, Texas.
That's one of the best first steps in the game.
Let's go to Ed quickly.
In the timeout, Tubbs said that his team has to post up bigger inside, and they're not protecting the backside. Thus the easy basket.
They didn't protect the backside there as Doug Smith hits it off the baseline. Henry comes back down, forces a shot. Rebound knocked inside court, and here comes Anthony Peeler. Defended by Jones, and he gives it to Bunton, and now Peeler working out at the point. Howard going low. Sophomore, true sophomore, could play in the NBA right now. One of the best guards in the country, pro or college. Oklahoma can't put a thing down. The top is on the rim. Sooners down by 11 early in the game.
Watch Peeler here. He ends up driving the baseline. Hits heavy, can't come in the front. Then stops, puts it up left-handed. Simple Simon for a great athlete.
Sooners shooting under 9% for the game. 1 for 11 so far. The Oklahoma Sooners from the field.
It'll change. They played 5 minutes already. At this average, they have 40 points for the game. I look more for 80 or 90 from them.
Somebody got a piece of that. Jones ball didn't even get to the hoop. Billy Tubbs up yelling for a call on the arm. Here's Keeler stroking again, hits for 3. 9 points for sophomore Anthony Keeler and a 14-point lead for Missouri.
And that's his 19th from three-point land.
Aaron shot by Mullins. And Missouri keeps on running. Oklahoma hopes to wear Missouri down. Oklahoma has a deeper bench. Now Jackie Jones, 2-on-1 break. Lead goes to Henry. And Skeeter Henry upended. I think they're going to score the basket.
No, they're not going to score the basket, but they're going to give 2 fouls.
Didn't know if he got it or not.
He moved up underneath him.
Dangerous foul. That can not only negate a basket, can send you to the hospital.
Yeah, that type of foul sometimes should be considered for that intentional. Any undercutting or hitting on trailing. Tubbs is crossing his wrist. That means intentional foul, which means 2 shots plus the ball out. And a new face on the shot clock. When things go wrong, they go wrong. The Sooners are very fortunate it's just the top of the ball game, and the tendency with a great team when they get up 19-5 is to relax. But you can't relax against the Sooners because they play Billy ball.
Billy ball, which averages over 108 points a game. Over the last 3 minutes, Missouri has been on a 13-2 scoring run to take this commanding 19-6 lead.
Went to a zone for the first time. It's a 3-2, 1-2-2 now. They drop back off the middle. They don't want to give you the shot from the top of the key. Watch from Johnny Mack or for, I would think Johnny Mack will get it. Swing it around the horn. No, around this way. Okay, now into Johnny Mack. No, penetrate now, Crawford. Let it go.
This is Oklahoma's 4th game in the last 8 days, Al. The Cubs didn't seem concerned about that, did he?
No, they're not tired. They're young athletes. They can play every day. The thing that tires you out is practice, not games.
Damon Patterson takes his time and hits the 2. It's a 19-8 game, Missouri.
That stopped the drought. They'll stay in the zone. Now, the Tigers have to adjust their rhythm. They're facing the zone. Have to do a little bit more touches. Have to shoot more from the outside.
Down low, Doug Smith on the turnaround shot, and Sooners go way up to get it. Davis comes down with the ball. William Davis up court to Skeeter Henry. McCovery. William Davis. Back up and down with the ball to Skeeter Henry, who's helping keep the Sooners in the game. They're down now 19-10, 6 points for Henry.
With 14 minutes to go, down 19-5. Billy Tubbs put his team in the zone. They're getting back in the game. They're only down now by 9. Got to get it to Johnny McIntyre. Or Peeler from the outside.
Howard. On the line, a 2-point shot by senior guard Lee Howard, another part of the Detroit connection. Patterson again left 3. And Slim Patterson from Kalamazoo, Michigan, arcs another one down to make it a 21-12 game.
That was Bunting's fault. He didn't get over to cover him. You got to extend out there. Hey, that was 10 seconds. Fred Crawford, that was unique. Coach Norm Stewart was telling Fred something. Fred wanted to get the instructions. Now he's pointing at the clock. A 45-second clock. The shot clock has 35 on it. They just wiped it clean. Now Norm's over at the scorer's table. What he's saying, he said, hey, there's only 9 seconds off on the shot clock. Normally at home, you're allowed 11 seconds. On the road, you're allowed 9.
But on the board, it's a 21-12 game, Tigers.
It's the right here now.
But not now.
It's the right here now.
But definitely not now.
Coors Light, it's the right here now.
And absolutely, positively, not now. No way.
Come on, Jimmy, let me get your cab.
It's Monday morning in Ford County.
That full-size Chevy pickup sure has a more advanced design than Ford.
Now that you mention it, the lines do remind me of modern neoclassic sculpture.
I see a lot of Bauhaus influence.
The understated simplicity even contributes to greater fuel efficiency.
Form follows function.
High fuel efficiency. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
I had to try this to believe it. Denerex tingles. Tells me it's doing more. Selsun Blue, no tingle.
Both Denerex and regular Selsun Blue have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine.
So long, Selsun Blue. Hello, Denerex.
This one's going right down to the wire. Here we
Yo,
go.
Domino, it's Charlie. I'll take a deluxe Pan Pizza. See you in 30. Great.
Don't miss any of the action.
It's time for Domino's Pizza. Call now.
This is Bob Costas in New York. Within the last few minutes, a major story has been reported by the Associated Press. John Johnson, the manager for new heavyweight champion Buster Douglas, says that he reached agreement late last night with Dan Duva, the representative of Evander Holyfield, the #1 contender, for Douglas and Holyfield to fight in September. This means Mike Tyson will have to wait for about a year until next February or March before getting a shot at either Douglas or Holyfield. Douglas will get a sizable amount of change, but he's taking a big risk because Holyfield could beat him, thereby keeping him from the bigger payday, the rematch with Tyson. More on this at halftime as we're joined by both Douglas and his manager, John Johnson. Back now to the Hearns Center in Columbia, Mizzou and Oklahoma. Here's Don Criqui.
Lee Coward in this play here started to talk to the coach. Watch, here's Lee that gets the ball, the senior. Watch him turn his head. Watch it, there he is talking to the coach. Now watch the clock up here. Here's the whistle being blown, 36 seconds. That means it's only 9 seconds used. Good complaint by Solomon Normstewart.
The officials today are David Hall, Ed Hightower, and Denny Bryan. As Skeeter Henry puts one up, it doesn't go. Bunton with a rebound for Michigan, or for his dad played for Michigan from Missouri. And here is McIntyre out to Peeler. Lee Coward, he really holds his team together, a very heady ball player. The senior guard, who's described by Coach Stewart as gritty, tough, and smart.
Good skip pass that time by Coward. They're putting 3 shooters at three-point line. Missouri still man-to-man.
Patterson to Davis, who's 0 for 6 shooting the ball. McCovery finds the stroke. He was on the line. And the Sooners climbing back into this game. They were down 19-5. Now they've been on a run and trail by 7.
Problem they're facing is the 3-2 zone. It's active.
9-2 scoring run at this point for Oklahoma. After 1 point, Missouri went 13-1 scoring. So the zone has worked out.
So far, AP should change now with Johnny McIntyre.
Oklahoma, averaging 108 a game, likes to score to that century for good reason, as there's a foul call on Oklahoma, sending Smith to the free throw line. The Sooners are 91-0. Have never lost under Billy Tubbs in 91 100-point or more games.
Well, what Billy Tubbs always says, he says, if we score 100 points and lose, it's my fault. If we lose and don't score 100 points, it's the ball player's fault. So he's 91-0.
I like what Abe Lemon says. Says if we win, it's good coaching. If we lose, it's their fault. I didn't play. Davis rebounding in this 22-14 game. 8-point lead for Missouri.
Tempo is slowed down, especially because Oklahoma going to the zone. Here's the banger inside, kicks it out to Smokey.
Foul inside, it's going to go on Missouri.
That was on Smith. Yeah, Doug was leaning on him. That's number 3. That's big. That's a problem.
Smith has 5 rebounds so far in the game.
Watch. Doug gets caught in the outside. Right there. And there's where he leans on him with his elbow. That is the 6th on both teams. All fouls for the rest of the half will be 1-1.
That is not a happy Tiger sitting down Doug Smith. They really need him. And now, look at the big play by Henry. Can't get it to go, but Damon Patterson, with that smooth, slick inside game, hits another field goal, and the Sooners have climbed to within 6 after trailing early by 14.
Got to remember, the Sooners are the quickest team in college basketball. They get off their feet fast, and they got a lot of putbacks.
Howard, he hit his last three-point try. Rebound to the guard, Anthony Peeler. McCovery at 6'2" with the rebound. Leads the break 3-on-2. Off to Skeeter Henry. No foul. Now there's a foul. We have a touch of indecision here, Coach McGuire.
Well, what's happening, the zone has kind of thrown them off. Oklahoma was due to get hot, but that they turn on quickly. They're only down by 6 points, and they're taking a 1-on-1. Nice pass. They crossed from the other side. It was a good feed. Now Williams comes in, and we got blinded by the referee's head. But William Davis came in on the weak side and put it back up for a 1-on-1. I thought it should have been a 2-shot foul.
Davis, 0 for 6 from the field, gets his first point. He does have 4 rebounds, William Davis.
Here's another look on that last call. See? He put his hand in across his shoulder, and he was shooting at the time. But he made the first one anyway, so 6 for half a dozen.
Howard banged his hand. Lee Coward of Missouri, and has come out of the game, their senior guard. They call William Davis at the free throw line cheese because he's always smiling, but not on the court. He's a hammer out there.
One of his big assets, he's great off the offensive board.
There's a sharp-shooting freshman from Kentucky, Travis Ford, in the game. As right now, Oklahoma's on a 14-3 run to trail by just 4 after trailing by 14, 19-5.
Ford is in there to neutralize the zone.
He can bomb. Here he is, Travis Ford from Madisonville, Kentucky. Jamal Coleman throws up a brick and down to Jackie Jones. Jones is a terrific player. Damon Patterson, he has really done the job, but not on that shot, as Peeler gets the side court rebound and leads a 10-man break. Stolen by McCovery. Up court to Skeeter Henry, and wham! The Sooners are within 2.
Surprised they don't press after that. Going back because they're in the zone, and the zone has been so successful. But if you have a breakaway like that, it's good to press, try to get a run.
Another steal. This by Damon Patterson. 3-on-3 break. McCovery makes the right decision, slows it up, and goes out to Henry. Rebound comes down to Jamal Coleman, and up court goes the freshman Ford.
Tigers got to slow it down a little bit against the zone. Be more patient. Well, you got to have patience if you're going to play against the zone.
Jamal Coleman fires it out. Three-point hit by freshman Travis Ford.
Kid from Kentucky had it down to Arizona, Duke, and the University of Virginia. Decided to come to Missouri.
Well, that was a smart play by Skeeter Henry. He was falling out of bounds, and he bounced it off the leg of the defender. Oklahoma, it's interesting, has only 1 turnover. Missouri has 5. Missouri holding to a 5-point lead.
Napa, because there are no unimportant parts.
To understand Hong Kong, you have to understand its customs, its mystery, its people. You have to know what makes a good impression and what offends. For over 40 years, we've been learning about Asia. So in addition to convenient daily service to Hong Kong, we can give you something no other U.S. airline can. A knowledge that comes after 40 years of helping people do business in Asia.
Saturday morning in Ford County.
I see you got a new Chevy.
Yep.
That's a pretty smart buy when you amortize the cost of depreciation as it relates to inflation in the GNP.
Yep.
In fact, when compared with Ford Ranger, Chevy S10 has held more of its value model years 1984 through 88.
Yep, and they say they've been worth more when you trade them in, too.
A tradition.
Oklahoma coach Billy Tubbs doesn't care how much his team beats you by or what he says about your team after he does it. After they beat Seton Hall last Sunday, he said in Oklahoma, if you can't sleep, you go to your doctor and he gives you a prescription to watch a Big East game. We saw Billy last night. He said, I meant to say that VCR tape should say, warning, watching a Big East game may cause drowsiness. Don't operate any heavy machinery.
Well, the other thing with Billy is that last night he said that I'm 5-1 against the Big East. One team came to Norman, Oklahoma. He said, I'll play anybody in the Big East, but they don't want to go to the other side of the Mississippi.
Right. And some Big East coaches, Carlissimo and Carnesecca, responded to him. After that later. Coaches great copies like the L.A. Raiders. He comes to town, everybody boos him, but the place is packed.
Well, what he says he does.
He says the big job for his players is to wake up every morning and to think, what can I do to make Billy happy?
Quick breakaway by Ford. Lost control. Got his own time to set up. Now the Tigers got to set up. Hit from the outside.
Travis Ford, the guy who hit that three who has the ball now, has been playing basketball. His dad was a high school coach since he's been 2. Follow-up shot goes by Nathan Bunton. And after the lead was cut to 2, a 5-point run now by Missouri, and here's a foul on Bunton.
That was just a foul. Bunton just didn't even try to get out of the way. Just kind of hammered him. But you got to remember, Oklahoma's zone is 3-2. So if you shoot from the outside, you can get inside position. Here's a look at the hammer. Give him the hammer there, guys. There you are. Now knee him a little bit out. That's it. Absolute 2-shot foul.
Leading scorers in the game for Oklahoma are Henry with 8 and Patterson with 6. Peeler leads Missouri with 9. Howard has 5. Smith has 5. Jones at the line. Can't get the roll. Stays 27-20.
J.J. told me before the game he has to improve on his shooting and rebounding. He's a great mobile player.
Wasn't easy, but he did get the roll there, and it's now a 6-point Missouri lead with the freshman Ford running the point.
Now there's that 3-2 zone, a 1-2-2. Now if you shoot from the outside, Bunton and Warren can get inside position, but you got to shoot from the outside. Warren, you got to, that's it. Now they got inside position. Warren, if he could have got that ball, would have been an automatic deuce.
Now Tubbs puts some size in the back line of his zone. Tony Martin comes in. 6'9", 250-pound senior from Los Angeles. 27-21, Missouri with the lead. Oklahoma with the steal, looking to cut it. 3-on-3 break. McCovery almost to travel.
He got away with a palm.
Slim Patterson taps the ball down, and it comes inbounds to Missouri.
If you watch here, he palmed the ball, which created a tiny travel. There it is, and there's the tiny travel.
That's one that used to be called all the time. Now, you rarely see a palm called, do you?
Yeah, a palm is when you put your hand on the side of the ball and direct it on the bottom. You must keep your hand preferably all around the top of the ball. This should be good. Nope, he's off.
McCovery doing a terrific job from the back line, rebounding to Henry, who is defended nicely by McIntyre, but Henry working harder, gets it down low to Patterson. Oklahoma can't buy one during stretches, but the Sooners are getting a lot of shots. It could change. Here's another steal.
We go back to Henry again. Henry's going to dunk this time. Nope, laid it off the glass.
And it's a 27-23 game. Missouri with the ball in the lead. You see the game clock down to 5:55 to play.
A little more patience, Tiger, once they get you into an offensive set on half court, which you're in now.
The last time Oklahoma came in this building was last season, and Oklahoma was #1 in America. Missouri beat Oklahoma twice last season here and in the Big 8 final at Kansas City.
Peeler and Coward ready to come back in at the first dead ball.
McIntyre, they call him the shootist. Every night he doesn't like. He can also pass it well. Tony Martin pulls up.
He took a walk on the boardwalk in Atlantic City.
Here's Billy.
Yeah, Billy. He looks like a lot like that guy that played in the Cuckoo's Nest.
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson. I don't know who I'm complimenting, Billy or Jack.
Billy Sempton, he said, all our guys have a green light to shoot. For some, it's greener.
Yeah, but you know what? His team plays defense. So does Missouri.
Oklahoma's successes, that's what people don't realize when they score 108. That's because they shoot it every 8 seconds when they're on offense.
They don't play defense and offense, which a lot of supposedly defensive coaches do. They milk the ball on offense.
Boy, they go for that. They go for that globe, don't they? Poking at it, diving at it. 4-point game. Missouri slowed down by the Oklahoma zone. Down low to Warren. It'll go.
Billy's acting up a little bit. He got his financial suit on, his Wall Street suit. Looks like an investment banker. He'll do anything for an eighth of a point. Inside position, nice bounce pass. And there's the foul. Nice head count. That means you stay down for 1,001. Send Skeeter skying with a head fake.
Jeff Warren, a freshman from Litchfield, Michigan, he said, you can get in and out of my town in a hurry. There's no stoplight.
He always shakes it up inside when he plays.
Talk about 10 over-the-rim players. Every rebound is contested for by about 8 people.
Both coaches now are off the bench, trying to work the subconscious of the officials, but these are great officials. The lead official is Hightower. He's out of Illinois.
At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team, and Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. Don Crickey with Coach Al McGuire and Ed Randall here at Hearn Center, University of Missouri, where Coach Norm Stewart in his 23rd year is looking for his team to go to #1 in the country after beating Kansas at Kansas, the #1 team last Tuesday night. But Oklahoma mounting a big challenge after the Sooners were seemingly out of it early. Here's a guy that's kept them in the game, Patterson, with 6 points. Oklahoma now down by a 29-24 count.
You might have missed that call. The first shooter was shooting a 1-on-1 and missed the front end. Then the foul was called immediately off the rebound, and Patterson goes to the line for 1-on-1.
Patterson with 8 points, leading Oklahoma.
It's Anthony Taylor time. He wants to drive the zone, but that's difficult, Anthony.
Howard pulls off. Rebound knocked around, and McCovery, 6'2" guard, rebounds again. Up court to Slim Patterson.
Got to remember now, the All-American's out. Doug Smith has 3 personal fouls. That's why he's sitting on the bench.
Oklahoma's back to within 2. McIntyre gets set to come back in now. It's down low. Tigers get one from Nathan Bunton. His dad was part of a great Michigan team back in '65, along with Cassie Russell, that went to the NCAA finals only to lose to UCLA. Tony Martin spins off the baseline, gets 2 for the Sooners, and it's again a 2-point game. McCovery, Luke leads.
Timing was off. It was a 3-2 break. Skeeter was in good position, but they floated it too high.
A misconnection, but we'll see that again. That's a staple of the Oklahoma 108-point offense.
This is really weird. I have to shampoo a lot. And every time I do, my hair gets wet, but my scalp gets dry. It's tight and itchy. The more I shampoo, the drier it can get. Now I can't stop shampooing, but I can use this. New dry scalp shampoo from Head & Shoulders. Made a different way, so it doesn't dry out your scalp like those other guys can. Try Head & Shoulders new dry scalp shampoo and help wipe out dry scalp.
Barbasol gel gives you a super close shave like the other gel, but at a great Barbasol price.
Your Barbasol gel, son. Your change, son.
Barbasol gel. No wonder it appeals to the rich.
In a breakthrough that is sure to fill a growing demand among today's beer drinkers, Miller introduces Sharps,
A non-alcoholic brew with real beer taste. Miller Sharps lets beer drinkers keep their edge.
It's Wednesday morning in Ford County.
Hey, Dad, is it really true that full-size Chevy pickups have more two-sided galvanized steel than Ford?
That's right, son. The electrolytic deposition of zinc on steel protects it from chemical oxidation.
But I mean, if it helps stop rust, how come a big company like Ford doesn't use as much as Chevy?
I don't know, son. I just don't know.
Rust protection. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Monday, a new weapon in the drug war.
Nasty Boys.
Based on the real-life cops who risked everything to fight it out.
Showtime.
Nasty Boys, the movie Monday.
This was a tighter game. Smokey McCovery passes, but what happens, Skeeter got so high, he was on the way down. Trying to control the ball, it kicks out of bounds. Tiger ball.
So Coach Tubbs, who says I recruit players who know they can win and players who have a bold attitude and can shoot. Tubbs says if he's got a three-point shooter that misses 5 threes in a row, next trip down he wants him taking a 6th. They are a very confident team. You talk to these Sooners before the game, they not only hope to win, they fully expect to win this game.
Billy Tubbs is a confident thinker, goes confident, tries to psych the opponent, coach, and team out with his chatter, which he does sometimes.
McIntyre, a picture 3. Let's go back to Ed Randall.
Norm Stewart said he wants his team to be more patient handling the ball, to go up on offense 2-on-2, put Peeler in the middle, and they want Button to go to the hole more.
Right now, a fight for the ball under the basket. John Wallace call. High up, so the possession arrow points to the Sooners.
That ball was off Warren, but the ref had tough position down low on the baseline. So maybe no call was the best for the angle he had. The Hawk got it down low.
Whoa, the Hawk Tony Martin, or the fadeaway jumper. Checked over here to see if you saw that, Coach. As he sprinted back up court, 3-point game.
Now that Johnny Mack is hot, the zone will start to lose some of its effectiveness.
Peeler
Told you.
comes back with a 3 for the Tigers. He has 12 points. It's been quiet for a while. Martin up again. The rebound down to big Nathan Bunton.
If I was Billy Tubbs right now, I'd go man-to-man for a while.
Foul call on McCovery on a switch hand dribble by Anthony Peeler.
Anthony Peeler crossed over with the dribble. Smokey reached in the cookie jar.
At halftime, we'll be going to NBC Sports Update and Bob Costas with more on the upcoming Buster Douglas Evander Holyfield fight. Bob will be talking both to Buster, the heavyweight champion, and his manager, John Johnson. We'll also have State Farm's rules of the game. Fred Barakat will talk about a ball getting stuck in the rim. Bertie Pacheco and Bob Aaron will also comment on that upcoming title fight. Mike Tyson's going to have to wait to get his crown back if he can. Peeler at the free throw line is regarded as the greatest high school player to come out of the state of Missouri since Bill Bradley of Princeton fame, and he came out in 1961.
Unlimited.
And it's a 39-31 game, so Oklahoma, which has had it back to 2 twice, needs a hit here. Henry to the hoop, dishes off. Martin puts it up. And Oklahoma with 2:04 to play is back to within 6.
Want to stay in this game? I jump out of this zone the last 2 minutes.
Your man Hawk Martinell's done well. He's hit 3 of 4 for 6 points.
See what happened? They solved the zone. They started to hit from outside, which opens up the inside of it. So they got to give a new defensive fake to Oklahoma.
Nathan Bunton with that last field goal. And it's again an 8-point lead.
Here's the breaking of the zone because they got 3 men on the outside, but at least a crack in the inside to feed the big man now. So it's inside, outside. A lot of it's psychological.
11 points for Skeeter Henry at the free throw line, shooting for 12.
Got to remember, Don, in Oklahoma only had 5 points after 5 minutes into the ball game. They now got 34.
Steal by Skeeter, who is a junior college All-American. Damon Patterson doesn't have the range that time, and a battle for the ball, and whoa, it goes inbounds to Missouri.
Now watch the guards surround the three-point line. Ford, McIntyre, and Peeler. See how they surround it? They're extending the zone.
A major collision under the basket, and a foul call with 1:19 to play, and that is the third personal foul on Skeeter Henry.
Now, if you'll notice, if we get a replay on this, watch what happens. Peeler grabs the net, which is a technical foul. Now watch, see the other hand? That is illegal, to grab the net like that.
Like all infractions, only illegal if you get caught, right?
Or if it's the opponent when you're coaching.
Peeler's a standout baseball player, left-handed fastballer. Say he really works at it, too, to get better at everything he does.
Back up to 9. Tigers are still in a solid zone. Got away with murder with Doug Smith on the bench for over 10 minutes because of 3 personal fouls. Trap down low, solve it. Should be up right here.
Jackie Jones puts one up. Gets it with a minute to play in the first half. And it's a 43-36 game. Jones 1 of 6 shooting the ball today. Oklahoma under 30% for the game.
We'll go 4 or 5 touches here. 47 seconds on the big clock, 33 in the shot.
Peeler trying to hit the gap in the zone, then kicks it, reverses the ball. Three-point shooters waiting on the perimeter. Now they get it into Warren, and here's Ford.
Back to the perimeter.
Another steal by Oklahoma, and a foul on McIntyre. That's 3 on him.
McIntyre was upset with himself. That was an emotional foul, an overreaction. He knew he turned the ball over. Let's take a look at it. Here's the ball. He has control of it, and he just couldn't get the handle, and there's the overreaction. But what happens, he ends up going down and putting Henry in a 1-on-1.
Peter hits it. The Oklahoma defense you were talking about, Al, has really kept the Sooners in the game. They forced 11 Missouri turnovers here in the first half. Missouri averages 14 turnovers a game, 11 already. 12 points for Skeeter, now 13.
I could be wrong. I thought Oklahoma averages 25 turnovers a game against opponents.
Well, they force it. Missouri averages 14.
Oh,
they
14.
turn it over. That's
okay,
right.
You're right.
Oklahoma.
Now, obviously, they go against the zone, take the clock down to 5.
Missouri only turns it over on the average of 14 times a game, but Oklahoma does force 25 turnovers a game on the average.
Yeah, I thought I read that last night. That's an unbelievable number.
And also has the biggest winning margin. Their average victory is 25 points. Howard strokes. They give the Tigers a 3-point lead just before halftime.
They stay with the zone too long, but it's still a good ball game, an 8-point spread.
Billy Tubbs, winners telling jokes, taking his winnings to the locker room is coach Norm Stewart. 46-38 at halftime, Missouri. Now let's go to NBC Sports Update and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don, we thank you. Coming up on NBC Sports Update, we'll be joined by heavyweight champion Buster Douglas and his manager John Johnson from Columbus, Ohio. And from Phoenix, Arizona, we'll be joined by NBC fight analyst Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, who's with promoter Bob Arum. He'll talk about today's developments, which have Douglas fighting Evander Holyfield next. That fight will take place sometime in September, and Mike Tyson is going to have to sit around twiddling his thumbs. We'll get to all that coming up right after these messages at halftime.